Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section down below. So today's video, I'm doing a fill with dip powder. These original nails were the Gel X tips from AliExpress and Macart Builder Gel in a tube, and I will link that video above. I do have quite a bit of lifting in this set, and I do attribute that to when I was applying the original set. I had a lot of leakage on my side walls, and not so much my cuticle area, but more so my side walls. So that does cause lifting, but definitely check out that video to see where this set started. And I'm doing a dip fill on top of gel, which a lot of people ask if you can do. Yes, you absolutely can put acrylic on top of gel. So what I'm showing here is just how I remove my lifting. This 5-in-1 drill bit, it is medium, and I am using my E-file on the speed. When I'm pretty much working around my cuticle area and my side walls, my speed isn't over 5 or 5,000 RPMs. And then one thing that you want to make sure that you're doing when you're trying to remove lifting and you're working around that area is that you keep as much dust off the nail so you can actually see what's on the nail. You can see your exposed nail plate, and you don't go too deep into your sidewalls or anything like that. So just keep removing the dust. So where the lifting is, I just place my drill bit a little bit above that area so that I can kind of like cut it out, if that makes sense. I did switch over to a medium cross cut drill bit. I just felt I was going to get a little bit more precision with this drill bit than the other one. It's less bulky, and I just really needed precision on this. And that 5-in-1, you can take down a lot of the bulk, and you can do that with this drill bit as well. So again, you see me removing the dust. The dust collector I am using is by Macart, and that you can find on their website. And I do have a discount code for Macart, and it's also in my Amazon storefront. So the drill bits I'm using are also in my Amazon storefront if you are interested in those. And these are by Pana. They're pretty inexpensive, and if you're just doing your own nails, these last quite a long time. I'm only speaking from the perspective in this video of how I do my nails. This isn't a tutorial. This isn't how you should do your nails. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I'm just showing what I do for myself. And so I just keep checking to make sure that I have all the lifting and lifting up. And once I do that, I go ahead and prep my nails. And you just push back your cuticles, remove the cuticles from the nail plate, and dehydrate the nails, clean off all the dust. I am going to go in with 2 coats of primer. I want to make sure that I don't have any lifting with this dip set. I'm just really working on that these days, trying to make sure that I'm avoiding my sidewalls and my cuticles as much as I can, and just making sure my nail is prepped properly for whatever I'm applying to the nails. So I did go in with 2 coats of the Young Nails primer, and it does get tacky in between layers. So you want to make sure you're not oversaturating the nail, and you want to make sure before you put more, it's a little bit tacky. Or that it starts to dry. If it still looks the same way as when you apply it, it hasn't reached the tacky stage yet. Just give it less than a minute, 30 seconds, depending on how much you apply, but you should only be applying a small amount. So again, this is going to be a dip powder fill, and the first thing I want to do is whatever nail has now been exposed, I want to go in and put a clear base on the nails. I don't want to put any color on my nails because when I file it off, I always just file down to that clear layer. I rarely ever file down to my my natural nail or my nail plate. So if you have that clear base on, then you don't ever have to risk damaging your nail plate if you just file down to that clear layer. So I just go ahead and do all of the nails with a thin layer of the clear dip powder. And I will go over all the products as usual at the end of the video. This is a mixed matched video. I'm not using an entire line of products or anything like that. I'm just using what I have. And a lot of people do use their acrylic to do their dip nails, which you will see me do in a few minutes as well with the colors that I use. And for the clear, I know there are a lot of people that use their clear acrylic, which is essentially the same thing. Dip powder, in a sense, is just a little bit more finely milled than regular acrylic, but it's the same thing essentially. So I'm going to go in with this colored acrylic by MVP Nail Designs. I will link her website below. I will go over the colors at the end of the video. So these are acrylics that you can also use as dip powder. That's how she markets them. So I'm going to use them today as dip powder. And I am going over the entire nail. I'm not really building an apex or anything like that because I still feel like I have a good enough structure from my original application. And it's only been about, it's been less than 2 weeks. My nails do grow fast. I do apply a cuticle oil twice a day. I do that in the mornings and I do that at night before bed. So that aids in the growth of my nail. You don't have to use cuticle oil as much as I do. And you probably should only apply it twice a day. But I have really dry skin, so that's why I apply it twice a day. And when I'm doing my nails as much as I am, your sidewalls and your skin starts to get a little bit drier and then tattered. So I just like to do it twice a day. Okay, back to what we're talking about here. You see me apply my dip powder multiple ways in this video. And for me, it mainly depends on the size of the jar. If I could dip my nail in the jar, then that's what I would do. Because these nails are longer and the jar that I have this dip powder in is smaller, I go back and forth between the pipette or pipette, however you say it, and then just pouring it right on the nails. I do like to use the cupcake holder just because you can just pour it back into the jar as you saw me do a few seconds ago. So however you want to apply it, whatever is going to work best for you, that's how you do it. And sometimes sometimes it also depends on my mood. Do I feel like using a spoon? Do I feel like pouring it over? So there's no right or wrong way to apply your dip powder. The only thing that I will say is when you're applying the liquids, that you try and do that in even layers. Even, smooth. Don't go too thick with it. Some of the liquids are thicker than others. Some dry faster than others. So just know what liquid you're working with and know how fast it dries so you know how fast you have to work. And then also make sure that you don't get that liquid on your cuticles or your sidewalls because it will prevent lifting. As you saw earlier, I had a lot of lifting from my previous set. So just whatever you're doing, make sure you avoid your skin. So after I go in with the dip powder, I give it a few seconds and then I brush off the excess. I'm going to use white on the pointer finger and then I'm going to use a silver on my pinky finger. So the way that I like to work is I like to if I'm working with multiple colors, I try to do it separately. Like all the teal, I did all the teal before I worked with the white. And then you just want to be careful with white that there's no excess dip powder on your brush so it doesn't change the color of the white when you're dusting it off, that the white's fully dry, because if there's any of the color in your brush, blah, blah, blah. So you just want to be as neat as possible. And the reason that I don't mind sticking my finger in these jars is because I'm the only one that uses these products. So if you're using these products on other people, you may want to apply it a little bit differently or pour out what you're going to use for that set. But definitely my hands are clean and I am the only person that uses these products. I don't do anyone's nails or anything like that. So if you are, you do want to consider different ways to apply. But again, like I said earlier, this is just how I do my nails, and it's not telling you how you should do yours. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So again, I do like to use the cupcake tin so I can just pour it back in there and then just keep everything as neat as possible. Brush off the excess before you go in with another layer. On all of these nails, I did two coats of, I did one coat of the clear and then two coats of the color. I did not encapsulate in clear. I know a lot of people do it and a lot of people don't. I do it sometimes. If the dip powder is like a glitter powder, then I would encapsulate in clear so that I don't file off the glitter. But if it's pretty much a solid color, the silver does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but I didn't feel like it was going to compromise the color by filing, so I didn't encapsulate in clear. That's completely up to you. These nails they have a high C curve, so I didn't want to apply too much products because I didn't want them to get too bulky. And again, these are over the Gel X tips that I did in another video, which I will link. And then I already have builder gel. I did take off a little bit of the bulk, but there's still the builder gel on the nails. So I didn't want to go in with too many layers of the dip powder. And then after I have all of the layers that I want, I go in with 2 coats of the activator, and then I stopped doing my nails for a while. I think it was about 20 minutes that I stopped doing my nails before I went in with my filing. You don't have to wait that long, but I like to wait that long so I don't have to go back in with another layer of activator. I know a lot of people do that after they file. I don't like to do that because I feel it compromises the top coat. So I like to wait a little bit longer before I do my filing to make sure everything is dry. So I did keep in a lot of my filing here, and that's because I usually don't. But the main purpose of it was to show that you can hand file most of this. Well, you can hand file all of it. I only used my e-file with a medium cross. It was a medium. The drill bit that I used was a, what are the white ones called? Ceramic. A medium ceramic bit, and I just went around the cuticles and the sidewalls with that. Everything else I hand filed. So I start with a 100 grit file, and I kind of clean up the shape as much as possible because you do lose the shape of your nails once you're applying the dip. So I just clean up the sidewalls, clean up the shape as much as I can, and try and get a little bit more of my stiletto shape back. These are rounded at the tips. I don't usually do the super pointy stilettos, so I guess these are more almond. I don't know, whatever. So I just try and get my shape back, and then after that, I just go across the nail and just make sure that it's smooth. I did on the middle finger, I did overfile a little bit and take off a little bit of that color, but it wasn't too drastic. If you feel like it's too drastic, then just go in with another layer of that dip powder. Going in with that clear layer would have prevented it being filed off. However, one thing to keep in mind is if your color application isn't smooth, like if it's lumpy and bumpy, even if you put that clear layer on, once you get to filing and trying to get that smooth, you still run the risk of filing off your color. So essentially, you want to make sure that when you're applying your liquid, you're doing that in the smoothest, most even layer as possible. So here you see me going in with the bit going around my cuticle and my sidewall area. And then there was a little bulk on that side of that white, so I just filed that off a little bit. You want to make sure that you are not grazing your skin with this bit. I did want to go under and see if I can clean up some of that excess from the original application when I applied it and used entirely too much of the builder gel. but this wasn't the right bit for it, and it wasn't really that bothersome, so I just left it. It's been on my nails for a couple weeks, so whatever. I'm not even going anywhere, so I'm still stuck in the house. So I didn't I don't really worry about that too much. So yeah, I'm just going around the cuticle, and then after I do the cuticle and the side walls, just remove whatever excess bulk. I'm gonna go across the nails with 180 grit file just to smooth that out if there's any lumps or bumps, which I didn't have too many in this instance. And just feel the nail. Like if it doesn't feel smooth, then just go in there and file some more. And then just look at the nail from different angles. Make sure that you have the apex, the structure of the nail that you want. Make sure that your shape is what you want, and just kind of take your time with the filing. One thing that I really do like about the full coverage tips is they have helped me so much with my shaping. And eventually I will have to well, I don't have to do anything, but eventually I would want to not use the full coverage tips and just use regular nail tips. But for now, it makes the job easier for me. And like I said, this is just how I do my nails. This is what works for me. So, you know, to each his own. But I really do like the tips. And these are the tips from AliExpress. And I feel like they're performing just like my Kiara Skies or my Nail Coutures as far as giving them a feel and them holding up. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're spending $30 for a set of these tips. It may or may not be necessary. It's just up to you and your preference. And so you just see me going over the nail, just getting it smooth, looking at it from different angles. So I will let you watch the rest of the filing. And I tried to stay in frame as much as possible. So I do apologize for not being in frame 100% of this. But if anyone's ever filmed and done their nails on camera, when you're filing, that's one of the hardest parts, to file and stay in frame. But I did my best for you guys. So I will be back when I'm done with the filing. Okay, so the nails are filed. I pretty much have the shape that I like. I did off camera when I was done, I did do a little bit of finish filing. I didn't show that just to get some of that roundness out of the nails and then to clean up that pinky a little bit. I did that off camera. So I'm just going in here with some star glue, let that dry for a little bit. And the way that you know that it's dry is it's no longer opaque. It's all transparent. And I'm just going to go in with some of this holographic silver foil to kind of tie in that pinky nail with the rest of the nails. And I was not 100% in love with the white, so I just kind of wanted to bring that whiteness down. It was really bright, so I just wanted to bring that down a little bit. So just go in with the foil, and this foil isn't a full coverage foil, so this doesn't have to be perfect because of the design of the foil, so I liked that as well. I wasn't stressed about getting the entire design of the foil, so that's what I did there. And then after, on the two nails that I did the foil, I'm going to go in with some base coat. And that's to take off the texture, to smooth out that nail. And also I want my top coat to have something to stick to. In the times that I've went right over the star glue and my transfer foil with top coat, for me, it has peeled. So I'm using base coat here on those two nails. I cure that for 30 seconds. And then I go in with my top coat. And then I cure my top coat. This top coat cures for a minute, but I like to cure my top coat for about 2 minutes because in my mind, it's definitely more shinier when you cure it longer. So that is what I do here. And you can see that pinky nail on my other hand that I had a little bit of over filing on that. For some reason, my pinky nails are my hardest nails to shape. I don't know what it is. I just can rarely get my pinky nail the perfect shape, the perfect structure. It's either too thin or too thick. So my pinky nail is my struggle nail. I finally got my thumbs down. Like, I love how my thumbs have been turning out. So just random, but here I'm going in with my cuticle oil, and this is the cuticle oil that I sell on my website. And you just need a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. And then one of the things I want to say is when you're using the dropper, you don't want to touch that to your skin, because when you put that back in the bottle, you're contaminating the bottle. My cuticles do last for about 12 months just based on the oils that I use. But if you're putting that contaminated dropper, you run the risk of contaminating your oils. But these oils are available on my website, and in the next few days, I will have my cuticle butters available again. I will have limited quantity of those. Also, the cuticle butters, because it's summer and they're made out of mango butter, so they do run the risk of melting during shipping, but all you have to do is just pop it in the refrigerator. So I'm rubbing the oil in, and then I'm rubbing in the excess oil into my hands, and you can see my hands are not greasy. My oils absorb so well into the skin, and you will not feel greasy. So I do have a few scents on my website, also an unscented. So the items that I used for this video were Madam Glam, base coat, and top coat. I used the star glue, which you can find on AliExpress or Amazon. The 2 dip powder liquids were from a kit that I got by Mifa a while ago. For the base, I used Kiara Sky dip powder in clear. And I got that off Amazon. I will link as much stuff as I can in my Amazon storefront. This white is by Rossi. I do have the link to their website down below, as well as a discount code. And then I will leave the website for MVP Nail Designs down below. So I use North Pole, and I also use Tahitian Waters. So I'll leave the link for Gigi's website down below as well. She has a bunch of different colors and glitters as well. So you can see here, I do have some dip powder on my skin. I'm going to leave it there because with dip powder, after you wash your hands a couple times, it literally will peel off. So just don't pick at it until it's a little bit more pliable. So, and then it can just peel off. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my website. Check out my cuticle oils. Definitely subscribe to my channel. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me, and I will be back soon for another video. Thanks again, guys.